It's the UFC 313 preview show. You ready? Let's do it. I'm ready. But are you ready?
Let's go!
Okay. That happened. We're good. Where's Fred? Where is Fred? Let me see. There he is. Hey, It's Fred. We're here. We're on. We made it. Fred, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. I was like, uh-oh, I don't hear you. Maybe, maybe that's gone wrong. We had a
Finishing
bit of
my snack.
Yeah. We had a bit of a technical thing slowing us down, stopping us from getting started, but now we are started and we are here and we are ready to preview UFC 313 on the Ringside Report Network. We got no AJ tonight because he is, I'm going to say, incarcerated. What do you think? What do we say about him tonight?
In some far extremist meeting.
Yes. He's meeting with his fellow members of his evil group that he's part of, some sort of far right extremist group. Yeah. Mussolini Appreciation Club or whatever he's in, Who knows what he's up to these days? I know you wanted to talk about Pete Rose, so the show could get real explosive tonight, Fred. You never know what might happen on the Ringside Report Network. Oh, man. UFC 313 is happening, Fred, this weekend. We're going to do a watch-along for it, so that'll be something. That'll happen.
Yep.
Oh, man. It's funny because we were talking about this card before the show, and it's got a
Great
really
main
good
event.
main event. It's got a good
Great.
main event,
Great.
right? Yeah. And it's got a decent co-main event.
Very good.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
I mean, Jalen Turner's a nice fighter. I mean, Bobby Green's always fun to watch. Amanda Lemos is a good fighter. But not a lot of big matchups other than the main event and the co-main event.
Yep. And even the co-main event, I mean,
Johnny, can you get Dave something to eat?
the hell was that? Even the co-main event, right?
I mean, it's good, man. It's going to be a banger, man. These two guys are going to bleed.
But Fiziev lost the last time, right? And it was a majority decision, whatever. He lost, okay? Gaethje won. And that's when Fiziev was preparing for the fight, training for the fight. Now he's taking the fight on what, 10 days notice?
He's probably always training. He's probably always in shape. Like, if I were going to be negative towards this fight, I would say, what does it mean? Does it mean much? Not really, because I feel like Justin Gaethje, he's more about these spectacle fights now, So maybe that's what it is, man, and that's what we need to take it for, because it's going to be a banger still. These guys are both going to bleed. The first one was very violent, but that's the case with every Justin Gaethje fight. And look, if you want to see something bloody, this is the fight for you to watch, man. This is for you to enjoy it. But like I say, if I were going to say something negative, doesn't mean much, like in the MMA landscape.
Yep. I'm not really looking to see people bleed. I'm looking to see meaningful fights with the best of the best. That's what I'm in it for. I want to see the best. I want to see the top compete on a consistent basis. We're going to get that in a light heavyweight fight, though. Light heavyweight title fight, Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev. I don't think there's a bigger star in the sport right now than Alex Pereira. Right? Who's bigger? John Jones? Ooh, we got to talk about John Jones, Fred. We got to talk about John Jones. Did you hear what Dana White said about John Jones?
Maybe. Go.
He said that John Jones is going to fight this summer. He expects him to fight this summer. The plan is for John Jones to fight this summer. And Dana's plan is for John Jones to fight Tom Aspinall. And Dana is parading this as news. And people are taking this as, oh, well, John Jones is going to come back this summer. Because Dana just said John Jones is going to come back this summer.
Dana never lies.
Didn't Dana say that Conor McGregor was going to fight in 2024? That year came and went, didn't it? And didn't Dana say after John Jones beat Stipe back in November that his plan was to have him fight Tom Aspinall? Wasn't that the plan in November? So how now in March is it like a big deal that he's saying this again? It's just putting pressure on John Jones, getting people interested, getting people talking. But unless he rolls out 30, 40 million bucks, I don't see John Jones taking this fight. Like I said back in November, he's not going to risk the legacy on some nobody like Tom Aspinall. Yet here's Dana White coming out and telling you John Jones is coming back this summer. No, he's not. He's not.
He might be.
Okay.
Come on, man. They're gonna offer him enough money. He'll take.
This is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. He's setting up a Tom Aspinall fight this summer. And if John Jones doesn't take it, John Jones will retire, and Dana White will change his tune on John Jones. And he'll say, John Jones got a big money offer. He didn't want to take the fight. Tom Aspinall's
Never
a
wanted
badass.
to be a champion.
I don't know if John Jones really wanted the fight with Tom Aspinall. You tell me why he didn't want the fight with Tom Aspinall, because we offered him all the money in the world to fight Tom Aspinall, and he didn't want to take the fight. John Jones, I'm not going to say he's scared, but you tell me. Just like what he said about Francis Ngannou, and just like what he says about anybody who won't take what they're given, who want a little bit more. This is what Dana's going to do. And he probably has John Jones held to a contract, so he'll keep him retired and not able to do any other combat sports for the rest of his life. Just like he did to poor George St. Pierre. That guy's still locked into a UFC contract he'll never get out of. Imprisoning legends in one-sided contracts. Hey, they're getting into boxing, Fred. Isn't that great?
Yeah. I don't care.
Not for the fighters. Not for any
Yeah,
fighter.
exactly.
Not for the workers. But, you know, Dana and his buddies, they don't really care about workers' rights. They're not really into that.
You know, man, this is more about, like, I think, professional sports in general. Dana and his buddies.
Uh-oh. Did Fred just cut out, or was that me? Am I still on? Did Fred leave?
Oh.
Fred, what happened? Did you cut out?
I don't know, but you froze on me.
Oh, you froze on me.
I don't know. So I was going to say, like, I know where you're going at with your little comment of, but the NBA right now, which is a bunch of lefties, okay? But the NBA right now
Those guys get
is
paid.
living. No, but they're going through the same thing a little bit, where they have like this huge 11-year contract that's paying them like I don't know how many billions of dollars, and like the TV ratings are going down, and people are talking about it like, oh, is the NBA gonna like go into something bad? But at the same time, they have like crazy amount of money. The owners are making a bunch of money, so it's the same thing for the UFC. You know, they're making a bunch of money right now, and they don't care that much about what they offer to the public because there's so much money to be made right now.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, when those players retire, though, they can retire and then they can go off and do whatever they want. When, NBA players, MLB players, NHL players, they're all unionized. Fighters aren't.
I mean, John Jones is going to be okay, man.
Okay.
Most of the big guys, like, unless they don't know how to manage their money, they'll be okay.
Don't you think John Jones, to take a Tom Aspinall fight, should get somewhere in the ballpark of what Juan Soto makes in a season?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, man. Do I think John Jones should be one of the top 2 or 3 guys paid in the UFC? Yes. I'll put it that way.
What about in pro sports?
I mean, you can't compare.
Compared to what the big boxers are making and stuff, you know what I mean?
We don't have the real numbers.
How much do you think John Jones' final fight against Tom Aspinall in a heavyweight title unification bout is worth? How much do you think John Jones should get paid for that? Just give me a number, how much you think. Because I think it's like
as much as he can.
$40 to $50 million should be going to him for that type of fight, because you figure the money's going to be pouring into the UFC for that. And goddamn, he is a legend and the best of all time.
Look, I won't argue that fighters are probably not getting their fair share of the pie. Like, I forget how much is the contract that the UFC signed with ESPN. It's several $1 billion also, I think.
Yeah.
So, the fighters are not getting their fair share. And you know what? ESPN is giving all that money to the UFC. And UFC is putting fight nights on ESPN. So some of that money is still like for the brand itself. Like, that money doesn't have to be spent only on UFC fight night paydays. It could be spent on like securing your big stars on pay-per-view and all that. So yeah, for sure, John Jones should be getting a big payday for any fight, like no matter who it is. Like, John Jones should be one of the top paid guys in the UFC.
But
he is, though.
I bet you anything, if this fight doesn't get made, which I don't think it will, Dana's going to come out and say we offered him so much money and he didn't take it. And then John Jones will say they didn't offer me enough money. And the average guy is going to believe Dana and go, whoa, John Jones should have taken you, scared of Tom Aspinall, which is fucking absurd that John Jones would be afraid of anyone, let alone Tom Aspinall.
I think the problem is the fact that UFC has so much power where they don't have to go over because they own the rights on John Jones. Like, he's under contract with the UFC. So that's probably where the negotiation problem lays, where the guys, once they've signed their contract, it's hard for them to renegotiate it, like, once they're signed, because they owe fights to the UFC, and the UFC are going to hold them to it. But you know what, man?
And it's one-sided, too. Like, the UFC could release them whenever they want.
Yeah, you're right on that. But I'll tell you this. In other sports, I don't like it when a guy signed a 3-4 year contract, has one good year, and then wants to renegotiate his contract. I'm not a big fan of that either. So, like, if you signed a contract, man, you honor it.
Yeah. I don't know what the rules are in all the sports, but I thought when you signed a deal, you had to stay to the deal, no?
Yeah, but you have guys that will say, like, oh, I'm not going to training camp. Oh, I might, not go. Like, there's been a lot of guys throughout sports that tried to play hardball to get what they wanted, and often they got what they wanted.
Marcus Stroman played that game a little bit in spring training, and he got what he wanted. He's going to probably get a 5th starting spot because one of our guys got hurt. So Louis Hill is probably hurt for several months. So Strowman will get that 5th starter spot in the Bronx. Another year for Stro. Squeaks by somehow. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like that Dana was saying John Jones was coming back this summer because I saw through the bullshit. I just don't like when he comes out and says stuff like that because you go, is he though? Because you and Tom Aspinall are saying you want the John Jones fight. John Jones is saying, why? So
right now, Tom Aspinall is the one that needs to move on because Tom Aspinall looked no further than Michael Chandler, who lost, almost 2 years on Conor McGregor, if not more. Like, you don't want to, like, Tom Aspinall, you're a young fighter. You got some big fights to make in front of you. Okay, John Jones would be the biggest fight there is, but don't wait. Go win another fight or two. Like instead of being inactive, if Tom Aspinall were to win a fight in 2 months, like that's how you put your candidacy as a more valid one to face John Jones. You know, like at some point, if you just put win after win, John Jones cannot say no. What he could say is I'm retiring, but he can't say But right now, being inactive doesn't help Tom Aspinall at all because if he doesn't get the fight, those are wasted time that he could have had big fights, big paydays. And so be active, man.
Fight Cyril Gane. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, exactly.
Why haven't they fought? It's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Like, I get it. You know, he wants to fight John Jones because John Jones is the greatest of all time, and he's the biggest money fight that he can make. And Tom Aspinall's last fight was the co-main event of Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad. I'm never gonna let that die, Fred. I'm never gonna let that die. That a man who co-main evented Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad as a heavyweight champion, mind you, he wants to fight John Jones. He thinks he's worth John Jones's attention, which is absurd. It's absurd.
Okay, so let's look at it from John Jones' perspective, who said again, I think he wants to fight Pereira.
Yeah.
Okay, so does Pereira fight make sense if Pereira wins, loses, or it doesn't matter?
Makes way more sense if he wins. If he loses, it's weird. If he loses, it doesn't really make sense.
John Jones will be watching. John Jones going to be watching the fight this weekend for sure.
But if he wins, right, Pereira, what else do you do for him? It should be John Jones.
John Jones would make sense for him.
Yes.
And I mean, Ankalaev is a big guy. Ankalaev is just as big as John Jones, I would say. Like, he's a
close, yeah. I'd say,
maybe not. Like, I mean, John Jones, the light heavyweight, and Ankalaev, the light heavyweight, that's a similar body frame. Like, so if Pereira could beat Ankalaev, he could fight with John Jones for sure. And that would be the fight to make.
If he could deal with Ankalaev's wrestling, maybe he can deal with John Jones' wrestling.
Will Ankalaev wrestle? That's my biggest question. Ankalaev tends to like to trade on his feet also, man. That's going to be dangerous against Pereira. So
if you're from Dagestan and you don't wrestle against Alex Pereira, there's something wrong. Come on, bro. What are we doing here? You're from Dagestan. You're supposed to wrestle. It's Alex Pereira. He's the best striker in the game. Wrestle this man. Wrestle this man. This is a big fight, Fred. I've been calling for this fight for years. Magomed Ankalaev, I've been calling as the next champion for years. And now that we're 2 days away, I'm less confident than ever. Because Alex Pereira is the man. It's hard to mess with this guy. He's so good. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Pereira, man. Mostly because I'm such a fan of his. But I could see him just managing to keep it on the feet long enough and getting a knockout. Like, to me, if Pereira wins, it's probably by knockout, TKO or straight out knockout. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Pereira, and that's what I'm hoping for, man. Pereira's been such a good story for MMA. Like, we were talking about the lack of star power in the UFC, and Pereira's the exception right now. Like, Pereira, John Jones, like, that's a fight. I don't understand why Dana wouldn't want to make that. I don't understand why they didn't make it right away, right now. Like, those two guys are big stars, and I just want Pereira's run to continue because I think it's good for MMA.
You want to hear something crazy? Alex Pereira is older than John Jones.
I can see that.
Aren't you a little surprised, though? I mean, it's only by like 10 days.
But I mean, he started late. We see Pereira as this guy that has what, like maybe 15 MMA fights. I'm not even sure if he has that much.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because he started late. Like, he was a kickboxer for many years, and also I think, like, if you look into his history, his younger days, he might have had like some addiction issues or whatever, and he got his life in order, man.
Yeah. Well, guess what? John Jones didn't have to get his life in order to be a world champion, Fred. Okay?
The same addiction issues.
Same addiction. Worse, even, I would say. Bro, Pereira just drank. John Jones is doing cocaine fight week. I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean,
Big bills.
And he's admitting it, too. It's crazy. What a guy. What a guy, that John Jones. That's a fight to make. Like, Tom Aspinall is not worth his time. But Alex Pereira, he's actually a main eventer. He's actually a guy that sells pay-per-views. He's a guy that people want to see. People are paying for Pereira. Nobody's paying for Tom Aspinall. They're not. They're paying for John Jones, which is all well and good if you're Tom Aspinall, but if you're John Jones, you want to get paid for real. And if you really want to get paid on the last one, you really want to cash in those pay-per-view points, you fight Alex Pereira. That's the fight. If Pereira can get past Magomed, that is the fight to make. There'd be nobody left for Pereira to fight at light heavyweight. John Jones already said he wants to fight Pereira. If Dana's saying John Jones is coming back this summer, it better be 4th of July weekend in Vegas against Alex Pereira. Biggest star in the game right now. The two biggest stars that are potentially active. I mean, John Jones is technically active, so he's the biggest star in the game right now. He's technically the heavyweight champion of the world, Fred. He's technically active. But Dana keeps talking about this Tom Aspinall fight. Like, he won't let it go. Keeps saying Tom Aspinall, Tom Aspinall, Tom Aspinall. If Pereira wins this weekend, like, is there a chance that this Dana White still doesn't change his tune and doesn't shift to Pereira?
Well, I'll tell you this. Like, if Pereira wins this weekend, he needs to come out, like, pretty undamaged if you want him to be available for the summer. So I'm not sure, like, summer would make that much sense. I think maybe, like, November would make more sense for him and John Jones. But, yeah, that's the fight that they should be looking for right now, I feel. With that said, man, they probably have some pay-per-views to fill, like, this summer. They're like we mentioned, there's a bit of lack of a star power right now in the UFC. So they want to cash as much as they can right now on John Jones, and that would mean him fighting Tom Aspinall. He's playing hardball. I don't blame him either. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with all this. I still believe he's going to fight someone. Like, John Jones is not retiring. I'll put you that much.
I think he is if they want him to fight Aspinall. I think he is. Like, is there a bigger fight in the UFC right now than John Jones and Alex Pereira? Is there anything bigger?
No.
if we're going to say that those guys don't exist, right? They're not around. They're not fighting each other. What is the other big fight that you can even make in the UFC right now? Is it Topuria and Makhachev? I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess.
And not much else, though. You know?
Dricus Pereira, maybe. Could be a decent one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think that's where we're headed, too. I think more likely the UFC is going to push Dricus Pereira and Jones Aspinall. And they're not going to get both fights. They'll get one of them. Oh, somebody needs a hug.
Hug time. Good night.
You want to say goodnight? Wave. You gonna wave? Oh, there's a little one. Huh? You waving? Uh-oh. All right, get out of here. You little
Bedtime.
one. No, not just one. Uh-oh. Now she's being dragged out of here, and she's not happy about it.
It happens.
Yeah. She noticed that I had some chocolate on my desk, and she's not happy about it. Oh.
That's not fair. Why do you have chocolate and not her?
Well, it's bedtime for her. It's not bedtime for me. I got some Junior Mints, and she's not happy about it. I mean, I would give her one, but it's not good. It's not good. I got Magomed this weekend, Fred.
Good.
I got to go with him. I've been going with him
after
for
all
years.
these years.
This is my guy. Right? What am I going to do now?
Okay.
Bail on him here? No way. I think he's going to win, too. I think it's Pereira's time to go down. He's been riding this wave for so long. It can only last for so long. Magomed Ankalaev is 5 years younger than Alex Pereira. 5 years? When you're 32 and your opponent is 37, that makes a difference. That makes a big difference in MMA. I like that. Magomed is 19-1-1. Never been knocked out. Got tapped once in the last second of a fight against Paul Craig. Other than that, undefeated. Nobody's beaten Magomed Ankalaev other than Paul Craig in the last second with a Hail Mary triangle choke. It happened. But I saw Alex Pereira get knocked unconscious by Israel Adesanya. Alex Pereira's 12-2. He's a knockout artist. He's got incredible power. He might be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the game today. But I think he's going down on Saturday night. I'm going with Magomed. I think Pereira's the favorite. Everybody I'm talking to is picking Pereira. But people like to stay with the champion, you know? People like to pick the guy who's been on top for a long time. People rarely pick the challenger going into a fight where the champion's been dominant for so long. Magomed, minus 105. Pereira, minus 125. Pereira, a slight favorite. But just barely. I thought he'd be a little heavier. No?
No, I think the odds make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people, like people that follow MMA, know that Ankalaev brings a challenge to Pereira that he might not have faced as of yet. So I think that comes into play. I think the odds are like Pereira's the bigger star. So, you know, like the casual fans that don't follow MMA, they're probably like, yeah, Pereira. But people that follow MMA, most of them are probably going Ankalaev. So I think the odds make sense.
I do too. I mean, look at us. You're picking Pereira. I'm picking Ankalaev. We're split here. And, I mean, I think you could envision a fight where Ankalaev does win. And I could envision a fight where Pereira wins. Pereira could knock out Ankalaev. Pereira could knock anybody out. But I think Ankalaev could also grind out a 5-round decision and beat Alex Pereira. I think that's what's going to happen, too. I've got Magomed Ankalaev in a boring fight. I don't think it's going to be that exciting. I think it's going to be similar to the Jan Blachowicz fight, which ended in a draw that I thought Ankalaev actually won. But he kind of neutralized Blachowicz and was able to grind out the decision. And I think he's going to do the same, but do enough to win. I've been invaded again. You want to sit on me for the rest of the show? What's going on here? What is happening? There's invasions. What? You want what? You want to come on here? All right, well, I got a co-host for the rest of the show, I think, Fred.
Go for it.
What's happening? What's happening? Who do you think is going to win? Magomed Ankalaev or Alex Pereira?
I'm Cody Rhodes.
Who?
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes? You think Cody Rhodes is going to win? Okay. She's got Cody Rhodes beating Ankalaev and Pereira.
So since she brought up Cody Rhodes, like, how was John Cena this week? Like, was he on Raw?
He was not on Raw. He's not going to be there for like several weeks now.
For real, man, he's not going to give us some follow-ups, and because that's my biggest question of his heel turn. Like, okay, like I look into history, like when Hogan heel turn, he was after that able to sell it. And when The Rock did it, he was able to sell it after that. He's a bad guy. Can John Cena really sell that he's a bad guy?
I think so. I think he can do it. I think he could pull it off. I think The Rock is going to be able to help him do it. You know?
Not convincing. I'm disappointed that he's not going to be part of the build-up. What date is WrestleMania? It's in a month, man.
April 20th, I think. 19th and 20th, something like that. It's 420 Mania. I know that. But, yeah, I don't think he's going to be on a lot of the shows going forward. Like, I think he'll be on a couple. He's supposed to be, like, they're going to Europe soon. Like, next week they're at Madison Square Garden, and he's not advertised. Cena or Rock are not advertised. That could change last minute, but, like, Monday's Raw is at Madison Square Garden, and then they're going to Europe for, like, a month, basically, which is going to be hell on the talent leading into the biggest show of the year, which is, you know, some stuff that I'm going to talk about tomorrow.
To Europe after.
Say it again?
Usually they go after WrestleMania, no?
Right. And usually they don't do a lot of TV in Europe. But they're going to do, get this, Raw, March 17th. They're in Brussels, Belgium. Okay? On the 24th, the following week, they're in Glasgow, Scotland for Raw. And the week after that, they're in London, England for Raw. So they're in Europe for like 3-4 weeks doing TV in Europe. And you know they're going to be charging ridiculous amounts for those tickets, right? Like the tickets that they're going to be charging those poor Belgians who've never seen WWE TV in their life. I can't imagine how many euro those tickets are going for. It must be ridiculous because that's what they do. They go to these dry markets and they give you Raw and you're supposed to be excited and the show is mid and there's no John Cena and you pay 6,000 euro for your seats in the nosebleeds. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But, you know, that's what they're doing. They're going to work their talent to the bone because they're all leading into the biggest show of the year and they're all jockeying for position, trying to get a spot on the card. So they're going to work extra hard. Plus, the travel's going to be brutal. They won't see their own homes for a month. Like, and they do this leading up to WrestleMania. Like, I can't imagine what the talent is thinking going into this next month. They've got to be like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I know we don't do house shows and all anymore, but this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Am I right? I think I'm right.
Agrees.
She agrees. You agree? Cody Rhodes? What do you do when you see Roman Reigns? That's right. Anyways, that's the WWE, Fred. Another TKO company that exploits their people. Just a terrible exploitative company. No wonder Dana's trying to get his buddy the president to repeal the Ali Act. Really trying to kill the idea of having a monopoly and, not being able to manage and promote the same. You're not legally allowed in boxing to be the manager and the promoter, but Dana's trying to get rid of that for some reason. All of a sudden they get into boxing. It's weird, eh? It's weird how that happens. But when you're buddies with the president, you can get shit done for your business, brother. That's how it works. Exactly. Exactly. This one. Going bananas. Antoinette wants to know how old she is. Zola, how old are you? 2? And you're going to be 3 pretty soon, right? 5? I don't know about that.
6.
6?
No, 3. Where was 3?
Where is 3? Like, how do you do 3 with your fingers?
Yeah.
How about like this? Can you do that? No? Is that not working for you?
This is easier, I think.
How about this?
Yeah.
There you go.
No.
You got that? Do, 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 do. No? You got it. Yeah, she's pretty cool. Hey, are you pretty cool? All right, let's do a parlay, Fred. Oh, I can't do a parlay. Can I do a parlay? Oh, I think we can do it. Hold on. I'm not connected yet. I think I'm gonna get our producer to hit me with the parlay screen in a second. When on my signal, I'm not ready yet. What's happening? This one's being.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, hang on. I'm almost there. Okay. Let's do a parlay. So we got Magomed Ankalaev in the main event, Alex Pereira co-main event, Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev co-main event here. I got
You
You say co-main event? Exactly. I got Justin Gaethje in the co-main event. Like I don't know. He won the last time. I think he wins this time. He won the last time with Fiziev on a full camp. Fiziev's taking this fight on 10 days' notice, replacing Dan Hooker. I just think Gaethje's got this fight. It'll be fun. I mean, I agree, Fred. It'll be a fun fight, but I like Gaethje to win. Oh, he's the underdog. Why is he the underdog? What the hell is that?
I feel people are thinking that Gaethje, he's been in a lot of wars, man. So maybe,
I guess.
Hello.
But this is my parlay.
yeah.
I'm doing a 2-fight parlay. I'm going Gaethje, Ankalaev.
I'm going Gaethje Pereira. So
Nice. All right, so this is the Team Dave parlay. It's Magomed and Gaethje. 20 gets you 89.81. Let's just switch it for.
Don't do that.
And there's Fred's parlay. Gaethje and Pereira. 20 gets you 82.80. So similar payouts.
Remember that. I just done that.
Understand? What does that mean?
Adesanya.
Adesanya?
Adesanya.
You think Adesanya's going to win? All right. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I think
Adesanya.
Adesanya. Well, I don't know.
Poopy.
Poopy. All right. Well, this is degenerating.
Poopy.
The dialogue on this show is just really low level here. What is happening? All right. Well, we didn't have AJ, but we did have one baby on the show, so that was good, right? You know what I mean? One baby. Oh. Wow. So, Fred, I think we've done it. I talked about Dana White. I made fun of him a little bit. I talked about John Jones. Did the UFC 313 preview, kinda. I mean, we previewed the fights we wanted to preview, right? Astana. Like, what else is there on this card? Any other fights you want to talk about, Fred? I don't think you do.
Nope.
Cookies.
Cookies.
Poopy.
All right. Well, she decided to start talking.
Poopies.
She's very excited.
Poopy.
I don't know what that means. All right. Well, this has been a great show. With a new co-host, we got rid of AJ and we replaced him with a 2-year-old girl. Thumbs up, right? Thumbs up. AJ's gone now. It's just me, Fred, and a baby. All right. We will be back Saturday, though, and we'll do a UFC 313 watch-along. And, that'll be fun. 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll preview the fight. No, we'll watch the fights with you, and we'll tell you what's happening on the fights, and everything will be good. And AJ will be here with me, or I'll have a baby with me, or I'll have AJ and a baby. Who knows what will happen. Fred will be here, obviously, and I'll be back tomorrow night, too, for a wrestling talk with Johnny North. We'll talk about CM Punk's excellent promo. We'll talk about John Cena turning heel and what this means for the WWE. We'll talk about the European tour. We'll talk about Raw at Madison Square Garden. We'll talk about Logan Paul and AJ Styles and WrestleMania. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Next big WWE show is WrestleMania, right? They just did the Chamber, so WrestleMania is coming up. So we're on the road to WrestleMania. We'll talk about that. Oh, and we'll preview AEW's Revolution going down this Sunday in Los Angeles. AEW's got a big pay-per-view. MJF versus Hangman Page. I'll watch that. I will watch that.
Stinky Smacko.
Stinky Smacko? Who's your favorite wrestler? Nah, it's Cody Rhodes. Everybody knows.
It's Poopy.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Antoinette, for gifting the membership. Shout out to all the members. Antoinette. All the members over at join.ringsidereport.net. A poopy. All right. Let's give a shout out to Antoinette. Say hi, Antoinette.
A poopy.
All right. Hi, Angelo. And all the members supporting the channel. Thanks, and we'll see you again tomorrow night here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word. Please share this episode on whichever social media platform you use. Add a comment below and consider reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our